In every man's life, there is that one moment of clarity that will change him forever. That singular defining action he takes that will seal his fate as either someone that takes charge and accomplishes great things, or someone that fails to take a stand and dooms himself to a life of mediocrity. For me, that moment came in late 2010, when I decided to refuse any and all vaccinations and immunizations and begin leading a natural life of diet, nutrition, and exercise as my sole means of health management. Unfortunately for me, I was an active duty combat medic in the United States Army at the time. Needless to say, my superiors were not as excited as I was about my new lifestyle decision. From my perspective, they were angry, scared, and confused. Angry at me for wanting to do my own thing instead of just following the herd, doing things the Army way. Scared because if the fact that one of their junior soldiers was going against the grain and not towing the line got out, it would reflect poorly on them as leaders. Confused at the fact that one of their most experienced medics had decided that everything taught by the Army School of Medicine regarding vaccines was either wrong, unnecessary, or both. I asked for a religious exemption in accordance with the current Army regulations and prepared all the appropriate paperwork for turn-in as spelled out in the regulation. I endured distrust, ridicule, threats of legal action for failing to follow an order, and even, on one occasion, death threats. I've been threatened by many people in my life, not just the enemy combatants I fought against during almost 2.5 years of combat, but also by strangers, friends, and even other soldiers in my own unit. Those threats were each different and of their own variety, but when I was threatened with death by my own commanding officer for simply doing what I felt in my conscience was right, that was a completely new type of threat. I was charged by military law with failure to obey a lawful order. I, of course, questioned the legality of the order to go get all the shots the Army said I needed, even though it was strictly against my demonstrated religious beliefs. I felt as though my religious beliefs to be able to heal my body utilizing the gifts of the immune system and the body's natural healing processes that were gifted to me by my Creator should be constitutionally protected and as such off limits, except in the most dire and extreme situations. As a result of being charged with failure to obey the order, I was court-martialed. I was facing up to 1 year in federal prison, dishonorable discharge, loss of all benefits that I had earned from many years of faithful, distinguished service, and a felony conviction that would stay with me for the rest of my life. After more than a year of court-martial proceedings, I was finally released from military duty by the Secretary of Army with an honorable discharge and full benefits intact. No more charges hanging over my head, no more worry about prison or felonies. I was a civilian again. Of course, nothing is ever easy when dealing with the business end of the U.S. military. I was stripped of my final paycheck and given a bill for a large amount that the Army said I owed them. I was denied the ability to recertify my EMT license due to some sort of computer error that just so happened could not be corrected in the 2 months prior to my discharge, no matter the fact that I was in constant contact with all the parties involved on an almost daily basis, supplying all the proof that I had been asked for that I had, indeed, completed the classes needed for recertification. Due to the loss of that much money and the inability to work in the field I enjoyed so much, I was forced to make ends meet any way that I could. I moved my family into a 24-foot camping trailer and filed for unemployment benefits. I still have not been able to secure a full-time job, and only recently have moved into a home enough to accommodate my family. When I took the oath of enlistment, I vowed to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Who could have thought that the greatest enemy would not be from Al-Qaeda in Baghdad trying to blow my vehicle into 1,000 tiny pieces, or Taliban fighters in eastern Afghanistan aiming to shoot some Americans and post it on Al Jazeera? Who would have ever thought that the greatest threat to my life, liberty, and the pursuit of my happiness would be from my own fellow soldiers? Thank you.